Welcome to Clear Minds. For years, I was a prisoner of my addiction. It was everything. It was costing me my family, my health, me. I honestly believed there was no way out, that this broken person is just who I was now. But the life I'm living today, this freedom, I never thought was real. It all started in a single moment, a moment of complete and total hopelessness. To really get how I got here, you have to see me on my darkest day. You know, life wasn't always this mess of chaos. I had a good childhood, a family that loved me, and actual dreams for my future. I did all right in school and had friends. It's not like I woke up one day and chose this. The change was slow. Started in college, the pills, high school, the partying, the anxiety, the pressure, the constant feeling that I just wasn't good enough. What started as a doctor's prescription became the absolute center of my world, and I was so blind from it. From the outside, especially first, it seemed fine. I was just someone who worked hard and played even harder. That work hard, play hard thing, it was a mask. For years, I was what people call a functioning addict. I kept my job, I paid my rent, I even showed up for Christmas. But I was living two completely different lives. The real me was just a slave to the next fix, the next drink, the next chance to just check out my reality. My entire life turned into this tangled web of lies and promises I knew I couldn't keep. I'd call out of work saying I was sick when I was really just too hungover or deep in withdrawal to move. I borrowed money from people I loved, knowing I couldn't pay them back. I missed birthdays, anniversaries, all the important stuff, always with an excuse that sounded real, but it was just another lie. The person staring back at me in the mirror, he was a stranger. My body was falling apart. I was exhausted all the time. My hands would shake. My brain was always in a fog. But the physical stuff, that was nothing compared to how empty I felt. I was just gutted by shame and by guilt, and I hated myself for it. I pushed away anyone who even tried to help because isolating myself was easier than seeing the disappointment in their eyes. I could feel myself spiraling down, but the addiction had its hooks in me, telling me this was the only way I could possibly cope. It was just a soul crushing, vicious cycle. My rock bottom wasn't some big dramatic thing like a car wreck or getting arrested. It was quieter than that, but somehow made it so much more terrifying. It was 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was all alone in my apartment and I had just run out of everything. The physical sickness was hitting me like a truck, but it was the silence that finally broke me. For the first time, the noise of addiction, the planning, the chasing, the lying, it was all just stopped. And I was just completely, utterly alone with the wreckage of my life. I remember just lying on the floor, my face pressed against the cold wood, and for the first time, I wasn't thinking about how to get more. I was thinking about how I could go on. Not for another day, not for another minute. It was this feeling of absolute despair, of being so shattered that there was nothing left to even try to fix. And right here, in that moment of pure hopelessness, one single clear thought cut through all that noise. I can't do this anymore. It wasn't a promise to get better. It was just a surrender, a simple, quiet admission that I had lost. I was done. That moment of surrender changed everything. People say your greatest pain can become your greatest strength, and my pain had finally gotten bigger than my fear of what came next. With my hands shaken, I did one thing I had avoided for years. I picked up the phone, but not to call a dealer, I called for help. I found a treatment center, and I just hear this calm voice on the other end. It felt like the first breath of air being held underwater. Admitted that I needed help. It was the single hardest and most important thing that I had ever done. It was that first honest thing I've done in a decade. That one call started everything. It led me to my first support group. It led me to a sponsor. It led me to slow, painful, but incredible process of rebuilding my life from scratch. It wasn't a magic fix. Recovery isn't some finish line you cross. It's something you choose to do every single day. But for the first time, I wasn't doing it by myself. Today, my life is different. It's not perfect, not by a long shot, but it's real. The peace that I feel, the relationship that I'm slowly mending, I'm respect I'm starting to have for myself, I truly thought those things were gone forever. My absolute worst day turned into my best day because it was the day I finally stopped fighting and started healing. If you're watching this and you feel that hopelessness that I'm talking about, please just hear me. You are not alone and your story is not over yet. There is help out there and there is so much more hope, even when you can't see it. Please, if you're comfortable, share your own story or just message of support in the comments. Building a community that gets it is one of the most powerful things we can do. And if you're struggling, please know that there is help available to you right now, 24/7. Anywhere in the United States, you can connect with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline for free. Confidential support, making that call could be the first step of your own journey back to life. Thank you for listening.